Heyo, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. Now, I've got a ton of things I want to share with you guys today, a bunch of news that's broken in just the last couple of days that I want to share. I've also got some questions that I picked out in the last news video I did the other day for a Q&A portion that I'm hoping to get to at the end of this video if there's time. So let's just hop right into it. Okay, and the first thing I want to share with you guys are some updated or in-hand images for the first batch of figures coming from DC Collectibles for their new 7-inch scale DC Essentials line. So these images come via Paul Harding, who's actually gotten his hands on final versions of the figures. Again, he's the actual sculptor on the line. These figures should start hitting in July, and so we're seeing basically the Rebirth Batman figure, which I think is looking really good here. Even like the gap, as some of you have pointed out, doesn't seem bad at all on the figure, and definitely the sculpting and paint detail look good. So again, this should be pretty much how the final version that we get in the stores looks, and I'm really kind of excited for this action figure line. The other image shows off the Flash and the Reverse Flash, and again, I think these are both looking pretty good. Now, just to recap, these figures will have very basic accessories. Some figures may not have any accessories, but like Batman, he will come with a Batarang, so some of the figures will come with very basic accessories, but don't expect things like multiple pairs of heads or tons of hands and stuff. Now, I have heard rumors, and this is only rumor at this point, but I have heard some rumors that DC Collectibles might do deluxe versions of these figures where they pack them up with more accessories and stuff. Those figures would cost more if they end up doing that. But for those of you who like to have your figures with a ton of accessories, that might be something that we see down the road. But as it is with these figures, I definitely think the overall look and sculpting detail, articulation is supposed to be top notch on these. Again, I haven't had them in hand yet, so I can't say that definitively, but supposedly these figures are going to be the most posable action figures that DC Collectibles has ever done. I know many of you are upset about these replacing the icons, the 6-inch icons that DC Collectibles had been doing. I'm upset that that line was canceled as well. I think beyond just sales, I think there were some other things at play that caused that line to get canceled, and just my speculation, but I think they were being a 6-inch scale line. It just put them in too much direct competition with other companies that maybe are doing similar figures. So I think there were just things at play that kind of killed that line, unfortunately. But nevertheless, I think these figures have real potential and could be the best figures that DC Collectibles has ever put out. Now, as far as the scale goes, there's been some debate on this, and again, until I actually have these in hand, I can't say for sure. So these are more towards the 7-inch scale as opposed to the 6-inch scale. I don't think they're going to be in perfect scale with Marvel Legend figures. I think they might be just a little bit taller than a Marvel Legend figure, whereas like the icons were a little bit shorter. So I just don't think we're going to see a perfect scale with Marvel Legends. But these might be considered closer, especially if you're mixing and matching with bigger and smaller characters and stuff. So I think this might be more in scale with a Marvel Legend, but again, until I get them in hand, I really can't say. But from these images, I think these figures are definitely looking great, and look forward to getting my hands on them real soon. And again, these should start hitting comic and specialty shops and retailers and such in July. And places like Big Bad Toy Store do have all these figures up for pre-order now. Okay, so the next piece of information I wanted to share with you guys is information about a new Harry Potter action figure line. So these are going to be joining the SH Figuarts line from Tamashii Nations. If you're a Harry Potter fan, I think you'll definitely want to check these out. Now, as of right now, we just know they're doing 3 figures. They're doing Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and these are based on the characters from the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone movie. And they'll be chocked with quite a few accessories, especially like Harry. Harry's going to have his owl head wig, and it looks like the owl is going to have articulated wings, so you can have the wings kind of closed or open, kind of flapping where he's holding him. Also, he's going to come with his wand. He's going to come with his broom, the Quidditch broom. I believe the trench coat, there's like a bottom portion of the trench coat you can switch out, so it's kind of flowing in the wind. A second version where it's flowing in the wind, so when he's riding on the broom, it looks correct and everything. Ron should have something similar because he's going to come with the broom, and then they're going to come with like magic books and stuff like that. And then obviously have multiple pairs of hands and facial expressions and the whole like. And overall, I think they've pretty much nailed the likeness with these characters pretty good with these figures. And the first figure to be released is going to be Harry Potter himself, and he's due out in October, and then the other two should soon follow. And I'm guessing if these sell well, they'll do, more versions of Harry, Ron, and Hermione from the other movies, and as well as other characters. So definitely, I think this is something where we'll start seeing a lot of different figures from Tamashii Nations. Now, while we're on the subject of Tamashii Nations and SH Figuarts, we've got a ton of news that's come out from the Tamashii Nations Comic-Con event that's going on this weekend overseas. Basically, Tamashii Nations is doing their own Comic-Con event, and so they've debuted a number of new figures for both Marvel and Star Wars. The Marvel ones I'm really excited about. These look incredible to me. So, my last news video, I gave Tamashii Nations a hard time, and that still sticks about not giving Captain America a shield. There's still no indication that he's getting a shield. In fact, he's definitely not. The figure's actually started to see release overseas. He does not have a shield. So that's very disappointing, and no indication that they maybe are going to include a shield or shields with another figure at this point, but maybe some point down the road we will see. However, the Iron Man figure. Now, I believe this is the same Iron Man that we're seeing at this event that's supposed to be, that we saw the initial promotional images and everything from. And it looks like they've added accessories to Iron Man. So we saw them add the staff to Captain America and the arms to the Iron Spider figure. Iron Spider is also starting to hit overseas. I'm hoping to have that figure in hand next week so I can do a review for you guys. But with this Iron Man figure, and again, I believe this is I don't think it's a second Iron Man that they're doing. It might be. I don't have specific details, but basically he's got the wings. He's got the little dagger things that he had stick out of his hand. He's got the clamp feet that you saw in the movie. So I'm hoping this is all part of the same figure. I hope it's not a second figure where you have to buy two, because the initial promotional images we saw, he had the arm cannon and such. He didn't have the wings though, and he didn't have the feet, and he didn't have I don't think he had the spike thing. I think he just had the arm cannon. But hopefully that'll all be included in one figure. Maybe it'll even be done as like a deluxe figure or something. Now we got a bunch of new reveals as well. So we are getting Falcon. And Falcon, I think, actually looks pretty good as well. I like how they've done the wings on the figure. This is the first SH Figuarts Falcon figure that we're getting. And I think the face likeness is incredible. I think it looks dead on to the actor. Hopefully the final version will look this good. And then we're also getting War Machine. So we're going to be getting a War Machine, a Mark IV, I believe it's Mark IV War Machine, and then a new Black Panther figure. So this is definitely, I'm pretty sure, a second Black Panther figure. This has got the purple, the vibranium energy all throughout the suit. It's got an unmasked head. I don't know if this will have a masked head as well. Probably will. But you're definitely getting an unmasked head with this one, which looks pretty good. And then also we're getting a Thor figure with the Stormbreaker. So as he appears towards the end of the movie with both eyes and everything. So all these figures I think look really good. I thought the Avengers Infinity War SH Figuarts line kind of started out rough, but what we've been seeing recently, I'm very excited for. And again, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that Iron Spider figure that'll have the arms on the back and everything. It definitely looks, I've seen some images of some folks who have it in hand overseas, and definitely it's looking pretty good, and pretty excited for that one. Also, while we're on Marvel, they also revealed a new realization figure. So these are the samurai type figures. They're going to be doing Wolverine. I know these aren't as popular as the regular SH Figuarts, but definitely the Wolverine looks pretty good, and if you like these samurai type figures, that one's another one that you're probably going to want to check out. Now, flipping over to the Star Wars front, they actually revealed more Star Wars figures than they did Marvel figures. They revealed a ton of stuff. So we're basically getting figures like an SH Figuarts Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, or I should say we're seeing. Now, with the Star Wars stuff, Tamashii Nations has been known to sometimes show stuff at these conventions and then not actually release them, or they take years to release them. So I don't have release dates or anything, but figures they actually had on hand at this event was SH Figuarts Return of the Jedi Boba Fett figure, also a Spear of Obi-Wan Kenobi figure with the translucent plastic, and this looks like it's going to have actual articulation and everything as well, so that's pretty cool. We're getting a Yoda figure, looks like Yoda based on episode 2, And then Jar Jar Binks, I know all of you are going to be excited about getting a new Jar Jar Binks figure. Getting Jabba the Hutt, or at least we are seeing Jabba the Hutt. And then also R5D4, a Jawa, clone troopers, a couple new clone troopers based on their episode 2 appearances, I believe, and one with the red colors and one with the yellow. I believe it's episode 2. Maybe it's episode 3. I get those confused, but the basic clones with the colors on them. And then also it looks like we're getting an Emperor Palpatine, or at least they're showing an Emperor Palpatine with the throne. So we've gotten diorama pieces from the Return of the Jedi throne scene before, but now we're getting the actual throne chair and looks like an actual Emperor Palpatine figure. So that definitely looks pretty interesting. They also showed Han Solo and Carbonite. Now, I don't know how I feel about that one, at least as a figure on its own. Maybe if there's a Han Solo, the actual Han Solo figure that attaches in the back or something that you can pull out, that might be cool. No indication of that from the images we're seeing, but it looks like they do have a Han and Carbonite. And then the final figure is actually from The Last Jedi. It's a new Luke Skywalker figure. It's based on Luke and how he appeared on Crate when he, or I should say his hologram appeared on Crate and he took on Kylo Ren and everything. So that one looks pretty good as well. And then finally for Star Wars, real quick, I just wanted to touch upon that Hot Toys today released official images for their new Han Solo figure from the new Solo, a Star Wars story movie, which actually opens in theaters today. I actually have not yet gotten a chance to see that movie. I was going to go see it earlier in the week at a press screening, and I actually missed a press screening last week as well. So I'm actually going tonight, just opening night. I have my tickets already reserved with the recliner seats. My local theater has recliner seats, which I really love. So I'm going to see it tonight. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully the movie will be good. I've definitely heard mixed reactions, but Harrison Ford himself apparently has said the movie's really good, so that gives me hope at least that it will be fairly enjoyable. I will have a review of the movie up probably either late tonight or tomorrow on Jedi Insight, or a written non-spoiler review if you do want to check it out, though I'm sure many of you will have already seen the movie by that point. But anyway, Hot Toys showed off their Han Solo figure from the new movie, and overall it looks pretty good. Looks like the actor, that I think they've done a good job with the face sculpt on this one, at least based on these new promo images. He's going to come with a gold pair of dice that kind of became famous in Last Jedi. I mean, we first saw it originally in Star Wars: A New Hope, but it definitely played a role in Last Jedi. He's going to come with multiple pairs of hands. He's going to come with his classic blaster and holster that has that thing on the side, which maybe we'll actually find out what that is in this movie, and then some kind of wrist watch or something that I guess he has in the movie as well. So that should be, if it's not already, should soon be up for pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store. And if you're a Solo fan, you definitely probably want to check that one out. Okay, now the final piece of news I wanted to share with you guys is not, this is kind of just a tease because the company that it's about has only teased it, but NECA Toys has given us teasers for their, well, okay, I don't know exactly how this is going to be released. What it appears to be is going to be a 6 or 7 inch scale, basically the same scale of action figures that they've been doing previously for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm not talking about the large 1/4 scale ones. I'm talking about like the small ones that have been convention exclusives in the past. And I think they're 6 inch, or at least the turtles are less than 6 inch because the turtles are shorter, but I think like figures like Shredder and stuff have been 6 inch with those. I get confused because NECA normally does 7 inch, but they're, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, they teased yesterday. Essentially, they showed us, I believe, is what the packaging is going to look like for this box set, which looks to be of the movie Turtles from the 90s, the Jim Henson Turtles, done in the smaller scale. They already did the larger scale versions, and now they're going to do shorter scale. We don't know exactly how these are going to be released. Likely will be Comic-Con exclusives like in the past, which is due to basically licensing issues between Playmates Toys and stuff. They're really not supposed to be selling that scale of figure any other way than the convention, so that's why these always end up being convention exclusives. But again, NECA has not yet come out and officially said how these will be offered. They haven't even technically officially said, what this is. They've just teased it, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is going to turn out to be, is the movie Turtles in that 7-inch type scale. But what I don't know for sure, or what I don't really know at all, is will it just be the 4 Turtles? Will it be the 4 Turtles and Splinter? Will it be the Turtles, Splinter, Casey Jones, April O'Neil, Shredder? I don't know exactly how many figures will be in this set and who exactly would be. Definitely it should be the 4 Turtles, but beyond that, I'm thinking it might be the 4 Turtles and Splinter. I kind of doubt they would do April or Casey Jones or even Shredder, probably mainly just because I could see that having hang up with likeness rights and all that kind of stuff. But definitely I'm guessing we'll see the Turtles and maybe Splinter. I don't know exactly when they're going to give the full details on this set. I was actually expecting them to do it yesterday and have not heard when they do actually plan on making the full reveal. As soon as they do, we will be sure to update TNI with the information, and at some point I'll probably talk about in a future news video. But just want to let you guys know that if you've been looking for NECA to do the movie Turtles, those 90 Jim Henson movie Turtles in the smaller scale, it looks like that's definitely coming, and hopefully we'll be getting more details soon. Okay, so that's it for the news. Now on to the Q&A portion. Now, if you're not familiar with this, and it's been a while since I've done a Q&A, this is where you guys ask questions. You type them in the comments section below in these news videos. And I asked you guys to ask questions in the last news video I did. Starting off with Noah, he asks, "Hey JC, what are your thoughts on Beast War Transformers, or what are your thoughts on the Beast Wars Transformers cartoon? Did you love it, hate it? Is it because of the animation?" So the original Beast Wars cartoon came out, I was in high school, and to be honest, I really wasn't spending a lot of time watching cartoons at that point in my life. And so Beast Wars, they had the computer animation. I remember I was over at my friend's house one time, and he had like recorded the first episode or something and was showing it to me, and I thought it was cool. I thought the animation, it was definitely, we'd never seen that kind of animation before, and so it was kind of cool, the computer generated type animation, and so it was definitely cool. But did not seem to really have a whole lot, and again, I hadn't really ever watched it, so I didn't really know anything about it. But just from that like 2 seconds that I was watching my friend's video, it just didn't seem like it was really connected to the original Transformers. I know differently now that it was much more connected than I originally thought, but it wasn't really the Transformers I had grown up on. So it just didn't catch my attention, and so I never really watched Beast Wars until later on in life. So I can't, it's why I never got into the toys. I never collected any of the toys, and even to this day, the Beast War toys don't really do much for me. I don't bother getting like the Masterpiece versions that they've been doing recently. It's just from that aspect, the nostalgia is just not there, and so it's not something I collect. However, when they released, years ago, this was years later, but years ago from now, when they first released the original Beast Wars cartoon on DVD, I did end up getting that set, and I went and watched the entire thing, and I thought it was really well done. It was much better than I had originally anticipated it was going to be. It's actually a better cartoon story-wise than the original G1 cartoon. The G1 cartoon still, just nostalgia purposes, holds a special place in my heart, but just actual story and everything, I think the Beast Wars cartoon was much better. And it turned out that it did actually have some pretty good ties to the original G1 cartoon, which I thought was really cool and got me more into it and stuff. So to answer your question, I like Beast Wars. I think it's a well done series. At the time when it first came out, it did not catch my attention. It's not something I watched, and because of that, I never really got into the Beast War toys. Next question comes from Renegade McQuaid, and he asks, "Would you like to see Hasbro bring back display bases for their Marvel Legend figures, or even something like playset or for display of our figures? Danger Room, Avengers Mansion, Daily Bugle, Rooftop." So I assume you're talking about the display bases that used to come with the old Toy Biz figures. And no, I actually have very little interest in seeing something like that. Those bases I never really used that much. They took up a lot of shelf space. They weren't really great for standing the figures. And I just don't really, I'd rather see Hasbro include other things than something like that. Now, would I like to see something like a Danger Room playset or something along those lines that you could use to display your figures sold as something separate, maybe something that they could do on HasLab or something? Yes, 100%. If it was done well, I would definitely love to see something like that. Next question comes from William Thomas, who asks, have you heard about the new Thundercats Funko Savage World action figures coming out? They were shown at New York Toy Fair. I don't understand Warner Brothers because they stopped Super 7 making the classic line but let Funko do their Savage World figures. What's going on? So I am familiar with those, though I actually kind of forgot about them. I covered them when I was at Toy Fair, but so I am aware of them, but they kind of did slip my mind, especially when I was talking about the new Thundercats animated series earlier this week. But I don't know why Funko was able to do those figures. Now, if you're not familiar, these are basically they're done in a style that's very much in keeping with like the old Masters of the Universe figures. They're really kind of 5-inch figures. They are not super articulated in any way. And that's what they remind me of, at least, is the old vintage Masters of the Universe figures, which incidentally, Super 7 does their version of for Masters of the Universe. So if you like, your Thundercats and your He-Man figures to kind of hang out together, those are actually kind of in keeping with one another. But again, to answer your question, I don't know why Funko was allowed to do those figures, but they wouldn't allow Super 7 to do continue on with the Four Horsemen classic line. I'm sure red tape and money and things like that all played a factor, but again, I don't know exactly why that is. And then this week's final question comes from John Estrada, and I gotta admit that I squeezed this one in because I wanted to use it as a segue for one more piece of information I wanted to share with you guys. But John asks, greetings from Peru. Do you think that after the Disney Fox buyout, Hasbro will release Marvel Legends of older Marvel Fox movies such as X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, Logan, and Deadpool? If you could choose one Marvel Legend character of these movies, which one would you choose? Okay, so let me first answer the second part of the question. If I could pick any figure from the Fox movies to be done in Marvel Legend form, it would either be Deadpool or maybe the X-Men as they appeared at the very end of, what was it, Apocalypse, when they were in the Danger Room. I kind of like those outfits. Or never actually saw it on screen, but there were some images of a suit that they originally had planned for Wolverine to wear, which I think was really cool. So if we ever saw that, I wouldn't mind seeing a figure of that. But I guess probably Deadpool out of those would be the one I'd want the most. I definitely have no interest in seeing reissues of the original X-Men in the black outfits or anything like that. Toy Biz did those figures, and I still have some of them lying around someplace, but I never was really, I mean, I liked the first two X-Men movies, but those outfits were boring as hell and really just had no interest in action figures of those versions. Now to the first part of your question. If so the reason why I want to talk about this and the news I actually wanted to bring in with this is that things are not looking good on the Disney Fox merger front. Apparently Comcast is making a real play to try and beat out Disney and buy Fox for themselves. They are basically, word is that they are putting up a cash offer that is larger than the offer Disney made, which apparently was, I think, 52 billion or something. I don't know. I don't have the figure off the top of my head. But basically, the Disney offer was done in stocks, and the Fox offer is basically going to be a cash offer. I don't know if Fox will accept it or what have you, but there are definitely apparently some shareholders that want to listen more to what Fox has to offer, or what Comcast has to offer, and is casting some serious doubt on whether or not the Disney Fox merger will happen. Now, apparently, Comcast made an offer for Fox previously, but Fox turned it down because they felt that it was less likely to go through past all the regulations and everything. I don't know if that's changed at all or what have you. What we could end up seeing here is a huge bidding war breakout, and that's probably what the Fox shareholders would like to see, as a huge bidding war breakout between Comcast and Disney, and whoever makes the best offer ends up walking away with the company and the assets, including Fantastic Four and X-Men. But unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't, even though a few months ago it looked like this was almost, completely a done deal, now it's not looking quite as good, so we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. So I just wanted to share that information with you guys. If it ends up going through and everything, do I think Hasbro would make figures on older movies? Probably not, but you never know. But certainly wouldn't be anything we'd see right away. So if we ever saw anything like that, we're probably talking years and years down the road. But again, me personally, I have no interest in seeing figures of those original X-Men in the black outfits. Okay, so that's it for the Q&A portion this time. Again, if you've got a question you want me to try and answer for the next one, just put it down in the comments section below and just put Q&A next to it. And also, if you asked a question last time and I wasn't able to get to it, please feel free to ask it again. So beyond that, as always, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about everything we talked about today. And if you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you're watching and haven't subscribed to the channel already, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that button down below, that subscribe button. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.